Hi there everybody, it's Verity here from inkybutterfly.com. Thank you for joining me today for my card making video, and this video is to make this card, which is my design team entry for the Inspire Create challenge this week. So our challenge is to use our favourite 3 colours. So I love all the colours in the Stampin' Up range really. I mean, yes, we have ones that are probably we love less, but I don't know whether there are any that I really don't like anymore, really. So some of those ones actually left us. So I'm actually really happy with all the colours we've got at the moment. I'm loving the new ink colours as well. I posted a few videos with those recently as well. So it's really, really cool. So if you want to look at all the other design team entries, please do click in the description of this video. Click over to my there will be my blog post as well, but there will also be a link to the actual challenge blog post. There all the design team entries will be, and that's where you can submit your entries to. So my card today, like I say, I've just plucked out 3 colours. This card design I think could work with a whole host of different colours. Obviously we're restricted to 3 today, but you know, we could easily expand that, or not, as the case may be. These ones are all in colours that came in last year. So we've got Starry Sky, Sweet Sorbet and Parakeet Party. That's my combination for this card. So I've got the coordinating ribbon there and a few little rhinestones which are clear, so they don't count. Okay, so that's the card I've made, but we're going to do a variation of this. So this layout is what I call my mini layers. These are an inch shorter and narrower than they would be if they were a full card base. But on my card I'm going to make with you now, I'm actually going to use a square topper just to give it a different look. The stamp sets I am using is Layering Leaves, and that's for the sentiments. So I've got this lovely thinking of you. Okay, so we can use that phrase to mean so much, whether they are good times or bad. And then we've got this great splatter in here, which is ultimately useful. This is a lovely set to start out. So if you are thinking about embarking on paper crafting or card making, this would be a really, really great set to get you going. There is a punch in the catalogue that coordinates with this as well. It's not part of a bundle, but there is a coordinating punch called the Bow Punch as well. But today I'm going to team it up with this set of dies. This is called Timeless Arrangements. So I'm just using the dice today on their own. There is a coordinating stamp set with some sentiments and things on it. Don't have that handy to show you. But these dies will stand alone, and in fact I almost bought them without the stamp set, just because we can use these sentiment labels with other things, and then these little bits here are designed to embellish those sentiment labels. I've used the set before as well on other cards. It's really, really great. Really, really love it. So I've pulled out one of those dies to use with this combination. So here's that one, and then I've picked out the largest of those rectangular sort of sentiment banners, if you like, which fits just nicely around that thinking of you sentiment. Okay, so colour combination that I've picked for this one, remember I said we could probably go to town and use all sorts of things. I decided that I would pull in Blackberry Bliss because it is definitely, I would say, one of my favourite colours. Sadly, one of my other ones retired, so but I still have Blackberry Bliss. I really, really like this colour. I just love it's purple, but not a garish purple, and it's just really, really nice and rich. I just really, really like it. So that's Blackberry Bliss, and then I was toying with what to pair it with for the layering, and I actually ended up picking out wild wheat. However, it was a very close call between that and Moody Mauve. So if I just, let me just grab some Moody Mauve there. Look how lovely Moody Mauve goes with that. It was a close call, you know. It was a close call. So anyway, I thought that the wheat would give a bit more of a contrast, more in keeping with what the original card looked like. So we've got wild wheat. So the basic white here is a 3-inch square, and then I've done a 3¼ inch square for the wild wheat. So I got a bit of a deeper border. I usually use a narrower border than that, but I felt like I wanted that wheat colour to kind of pop out from the background. And then the green I'm going to use is Old Olive. So just got those sort of warmer, more muted tones to this card, as opposed to the real bright colours on the original. Okay, so we've got those bits and pieces, so we just got a little bit of die cutting to do. So we will get this ready that way round. So that's just going to be cut out of cardstock. Then I've got a scrap of basic white here, and in keeping with the original sample, the sentiment is going to be done in the border colour for the panel. So in this case, that is wild wheat. Okay, now we'll see how this turns out, because I wouldn't normally stamp a sentiment in a colour like this, but I think it's deep enough to carry it off, because it's not like a really light yellow, like you know, like lemon lolly or something. You wouldn't really stamp a sentiment in that, or soft sea foam, something like that, because it doesn't show that well. Even petal pink, that can be, it's a bit too pale, I would say, for a sentiment particularly. Depends on what you're going for, I guess. I think paler colours can work, but for this particular card, I need something a little punchier. So I'm just trying to make sure that that's kind of roughly straight with my die. It's going to be somewhere around there. So we'll just pop that into place. Now this set of dies will fit through our mini cutting emboss. So if I just zoom out for a little bit, you can see all the paraphernalia on my desk. So the mini cutting emboss, so I've got it in my hands here. Okay, I don't think I've got small hands, but you know, but it's very comfortable to hold in your hand. You can pick it up with one hand very easily. You can pick it up with one finger quite easily, actually, unless you've got terrible problems with your fingers or whatever. But it's a really, really light machine. Okay, still it has the same sort of fold away design with these platforms here, so they come out either side there in the lovely white and grey branding. There might still be some boho blue ones knocking about, but you'd have to check the website and see whether they're still around. But when you get the machine, I think the handle becomes attached. Yeah. Okay. Whereas on if you buy the larger machine, that you just have to just use an Allen key and put the handle on. This comes fully assembled, yes, if I remember rightly, and you will get all the plates you need to get cracking straight away. Okay, so there are 4 types of plate that come with the machine, exactly the same as with the Big Boss. So we have a white base plate, so we use that with everything. No, we don't. We use it with everything on the cutting emboss. We don't use it with everything on here, I don't think. So that's used with our dies. So that's our base plate, and then we have our clear cutting plate. So these are the ones that are going to be consumables. These are the ones that you'll need to replace from time to time. But I am yet to use replace these. I am using it and using it and using it. See how terribly cut into that is. So I always have one on the bottom that I cut into and cut into and cut into, and when that finally gives it the ghost, I'll swap it for this one. and then get a fresh top plate, and you get 2 in a pack when you buy a replacement pack. So that's how we're going to be die cutting today. So we would just put our bottom plate on there. We'll just take our piece of cardstock with our die on top, put our second cutting plate on top, introduce it to them. Oh, I've got that the wrong way around because I'm a lefty, so hang on. Let's have it so I can turn the handle. Right, so pop that in, introduce it to the machine, and it will grab there and feed that through. Really nice. You just need to hold it steady. Now, it does have little feet on the bottom, but on this surface it's going to slip around a little bit. Okay, so all the way out to the back. Oops. Take off that top plate, and we get a beautiful die cut image there. Forgot you're further away to and accommodate for the embossing machine. So isn't that just fabulous? No, not an inferior quality at all. Does exactly the same job as the larger machine. Okay, anything that's compatible with the mini will be clearly indicated in the catalogue. There's a little symbol, you can't miss it. Okay, and that we'll sort out in a minute. And like I say, the other plates we've got are for our embossing folders. So we've got regular embossing folders. Oh, you do use the base plate, you do use number 1 with this one, and then you use the base plate and this one for the 3D embossing folders. And again, they will be clearly marked in the catalogue if they are compatible with this machine. I think it's just over, it's about 3.5 inches, I think. Yeah, 3.5 inches. Okay, so there's loads of dies that will fit this, even if not everything in the set will. Some of the smaller dies within the bigger sets will as well. So just bear that in mind. So yeah, it's a really great little machine to get you going, especially if you're stuck for space as well. So we just need to cut out our greenery here. So this piece of cardstock is just about small enough to fit through. I didn't actually think about that when I pulled it out. I just pulled out a scrap. And then I realised that I was going to have, I thought it would be a good opportunity, I would say, to show you the mini cut emboss again. Okay, so there we go. There's number 1, and you can see it cuts through really beautifully, and we can just lift that out of the cardstock. Okay, this is just old washi tape. I'm just going to cut off that excess and just so we can pop it through the middle a little bit more, and then we can just pop that out. There are some extra little pieces that may get stuck in the die, especially if you've got your tape over the edge where they are. So we just want to poke that out before you try and die cut again, because they might diminish the cutting experience that you get from the die. So it won't be able to sit in as well. And is that piece going to be big enough? Oh dear me, that's typical, isn't it? I thought that was big enough to cut that out. Oh, it is. Yeah, yes. That way around. Fit it that way. You do get indentations from the if it's a really battered cutting plate, you'll get little marks on the back. So, but that's nothing to trouble you. Okay, so here we go again. Base plate, cutting plates, sandwiched together, and just feed that through. Okay. Like I say, it's just because I've got on I'm on a surface where those little feet aren't going to keep it still for me, so that just looks a little harder on this surface. But there we go, and it just folds away. Really great. It's just absolutely brilliant little machine to get you going. Okay, so I'm just going to pop him over there out of the way. Pop our cutting plates away. A little spot for them on top of my stamping storage. And that tape's had its rodeo now, so we'll just pop that away, pop out those little pieces. So I've got little release holes in the dies. So these little holes here help you just release the die from the cardstock from the dies. Okay, absolutely gorgeous. I'll zoom you back in now. Where did I put my other die? There it is. Keep everything together, otherwise they're going to go walkabout. I really should get one of those magnetic thingy bobs. Thingy bob is a technical term, of course. I think it's something mechanics have and stuff to keep like bits together. So if we're going to use a spot of wet glue here, we're going to turn this over now, and that sort of rectangular bar fits just inside the stitching. It's not super critical if it's not straight either, because you're not going to see any of that. Whoops, sorry. Okay, so we're just going to pop that in there. Do the same in on this one. You don't have to do it on the top and the bottom. You could do it just on one edge. You can mix and match them. Probably even cut them down and stick them sort of on the side or something. Okay, so that's our beautiful element that we've got there. Okay, and that is going to go up onto some dimensionals, but before we do that I've got to add something else. So on this original sample I used some ribbon just to add something in the background there. Don't have any blackberry ribbon, so what we're going to do instead is we're going to use a strip of cardstock. I've got no idea what the width of this is. It is where did my ruler go? Just a scrap that I pulled out, and it happens to be, I don't know, 5/8 of an inch. It's just a scrap, right? You make it the width you want, but the length is 3 1/4. And I'm going to use my little banner punch. This picker punch with the banner ends, and I'm just going to cut those ends off, and I'm almost going to make it, you know, like a little it's not a faux ribbon as such, but it's just going to sort of peek out the side there, just to bring in that colour again across the back. Okay, so I'm just going to pop a little bit of wet glue across there and pop that in so it looks sort of even, and it just so happens to fit quite nicely in that gap which wasn't planned in any way, shape or form. So there you go, there's, as luck would have it, that's going to be like that. And we're just going to use a bit of, it's the edging strips from the dimensionals, and that's ready for our project. So the only thing to do now is to just quickly stamp our splatters on the back of this, which is going to be with the card base colour, so that's Blackberry Bliss. So I'm going to bring in this ink pad, and we're just going to pop those on. And if you twist and turn the stamp, you just kind of get that extra bit of variation. I was just looking there to see whether I needed some more, and I thought we just needed a bit more. That's just going to layer onto our, just need to clean that off. I do like to get the pink ink straight off my stamps. Just going to use a bit of seal to layer this on. Just got to remember that I've got a wider border than I usually use, so I'm just going to bear that in mind. But if you use the trick I always do, by getting 3 sides even, you shouldn't go wrong. The seal's getting close to the end. Yeah, you can see, because that, you see the red tape's just starting to show. That's how you know it's going to be close to the end. So we can pop this onto our card now, and just putting that towards the top. Like so. And then we can just pop on this element. If you want a bit more breathing space, if you pop some wet glue over the top of your dimensional, it just gives you those extra few moments just to position your elements where you want them. I think we're good about there. Just give that a press now. Then we just want to add our little rhinestones, which many of you will have seen me do a number of times. Okay, just in those little triangles, just to bring it all in. You could have done those off the panel as well, but I like to just sort of keep it all nice and tight in. So that looks completely different to our original card. Okay, but isn't it? I think that's really, really pretty. Okay, it's a really, really nice combo of colours. So we've got our really nice bright bold card here. We've got something a little bit more subtle, dare I say a little bit more masculine, maybe, with those colours. I think that looks really, really pretty. I hope you've enjoyed that today, and it's given you some ideas on how to combine different bits and pieces with a restricted colour palette. Do check out all the other ladies' projects as well. I'm sure they'd love some likes and subscribes if you aren't already subscribers to their blogs. And some of them might have some videos as well. So look out for those too. Take care everyone. See you soon. Bye.